talking about what makes you successful in life, relationships, and business. It's Jump, Pivot, and Roll with Shannon Stiles and Rachel Murphy.
Have you ever felt yourself slipping into a depression? Or woke up one day and recognized that things just aren't right? When you're depressed, you can't just will yourself out of it. Anyone listening to this podcast is a highly driven individual that has higher standards for themselves than the majority of individuals out there. We are all looking to become the best version of ourselves that we can possibly be. So when we slip into a depression, it is extremely hard to come out of it because we know better. Or so we think. Honestly, I think since we set our standards so high, we sometimes forget to give ourselves grace. You might not be depressed right now, but I pray that you listen to this podcast in full because this is a seed that we want to make sure we plant in you. Because it's not if, it is when you get depressed. We want to make sure that you come out of it. I'm Shannon Stiles.
And I'm Rachel Murphy.
And this is Jump, Pivot, and Roll. Rachel?
Shannon.
Take a deep breath because we're going to talk about something that, first of all, I want to thank you because you're laying it on the line here.
I am. You guys can't see it right now, but there are tears in my eyes because she's talking about me.
And you're coming in, you're being 100% authentic. You're sharing the good, the bad, the ugly, and we're going to share the hopeful, right?
Absolutely.
And the reason we're doing this, Rachel's been going through, she woke up one day. You tell them, Rachel. I don't have to tell your story.
Well, you guys know, for those who are regular listeners, you know how I, tote getting up early and doing your exercise and your meditation and all of that. Well, my phone crapped out. My phone, I'm ready to just break the doggone thing. I've got a new one that comes in tomorrow. But
it wouldn't do anything. It's already broken.
It's already broken.
Let's be honest.
That's true. And so Saturday it didn't go off at 5. It just didn't, and it's kind of my thing. It's my start, and it didn't go off. And then so Shannon figured, you know what? She's not calling at 5. She needs some sleep, and I probably did.
Yeah.
And then
now, mind you, you had come off of a 70-hour work week.
Yeah, I'd come off of a 70-hour hard
and this
work
is
week.
Physical labor.
Physical, emotional,
yes.
Mental. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's what I do. And sometimes giving so much to my clients takes a lot for me. And then, we were talking last week, if you listened to the podcast, we were talking about finding a cause that moves you and means something to you and you're passionate about. Well, mine is saving the children. And so I've been pretty deep in that rabbit hole, and I haven't slept a lot, and I've cried a lot, and, so there's just been a lot going on. So anyway, Sunday, the alarm went off, and I didn't get up. And Monday, the alarm went off because the stupid phone was working, and I didn't get up. And is today Tuesday or Wednesday?
Today's Wednesday, sweetie.
Okay, see, I'm even losing days.
Except for we did work out Monday.
Did we work out
we
Monday?
We worked out Monday.
Oh, we did
I called you
Monday.
and I was like, phone not working? Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, the point is all my progress, all my 47 days that I had done because I was going for 85 went out the window, and I've got to start all over again. And the last time it was 84 days when something screwed up and it went out the window. And so that, and
so I've got to stop you right there. Okay. Because I'm seeing a pattern. How many days?
84.
And last time?
47.
No. You made it 84 days?
Made it 84.
Okay. And then 47?
47.
Okay. So I'm thinking maybe you ought to include in your schedule a break.
Well,
I'm being
my
serious.
phone would have worked.
I'm being serious. Sometimes, I truly believe we don't give ourselves enough grace, and it's not about the number. This is something I want people to hear. It's not about the number of days. It's about what it does for you. It's about what you're doing. It's about the change you're making. It has nothing to do with the number of days. And if you get off track, it's just like an alcoholic. Yeah, we don't want alcoholics to get off track. But if they do, we want them to give themselves grace and get right back on the path.
I just felt like, because I've made a point to share this journey and to share this and to try to inspire others, I felt like I failed them.
Well, and you know what? I didn't realize I was sitting in the studio with Jesus Christ. Right? We put so much pressure on ourselves, and we're not God. I mean, we are human. We are still going to fail. We are still going to be overwhelmed at times. We're still going to have all of these qualities that everybody else does. The difference is, let's back up 4, 5, 6, 8 years ago, Rachel. Think of a time that this happened to you back then.
I don't remember getting up at 5 a.m.
Okay,
7 years ago.
I'm talking about when you slipped into a depression.
Yeah.
How long would it take before you'd realize it?
Honestly, Shannon, I don't even know anymore, because I do realize it. And I think that's the frustrating thing for me is, I love personal progress. I love growing and becoming and knowing and experiencing and challenging and all those great things about it. But I also hate it at times, because when you know, and when you shouldn't be being that way, it's just...
So let me ask you a question, and I'm taking this a totally different way. And let me tell you right now, I don't even know what I'm saying, because I'm just kind of letting it flow because I think it needs to. But as a business owner, right now, COVID's hit me hard, and cash is a problem at the agency right now. As a business owner, does that mean I'm failing?
No.
Okay, it's the
Those
same
are outside
thing.
circumstances.
Well, are you telling me that this wasn't an outside circumstance that triggered you? Have you been watching the news? Have you been digging deep into these kids that are missing?
Yeah.
Has your heart been heavy on that?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get stuck where you were?
Yeah.
Okay, and I want to stop our conversation right here and talk about this for a minute, because I think it's really important. When we volunteer, 9 times out of 10, the passion you have to help others is going to be, you're going to be in a situation where it's sad. I mean, if you're volunteering to feed people across the country that might get 1 square meal a month, it's going to break your heart. It's going to be sad. And my recommendation is, keep your focus on the vision. Keep your focus on seeing you make a difference, on seeing what you're doing to help, instead of focusing on the problem and getting stuck in that dark, right? We're coming to be the light. And being the light means we can't get stuck in reading all the crap and all the statistics and all of that. That's good for a certain reason. But we can't get stuck there. We have to get stuck in the future, in the vision, and where we want to be. I'll get off that tangent now, but since we had that show, that podcast last week, I think it's really important that we go into this with our eyes wide open, and we keep the future in mind, right? Because are you going to get in a depression when you think about what you're doing is helping save someone, and when you're thinking about, you're visualizing seeing them you're going to have tears, but they're going to be happy tears. When you see these kids reconnected with their family and their loved ones or reconnected with someone who loves them, it doesn't have to be family, and put back into society, that's what it's about, guys. It is not about getting so involved and so focused on the problem that we no longer can become the solution.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree.
Let's get off that topic, because you can tell I'm kind of passionate about that right now, just because I love you dearly and I've seen what happened.
And you're not liking what it's doing to me, and I get that. And so let's back up.
Go ahead.
So we had the 5 a.m. thing, and then, guys, I wasn't making my bed. I make my bed.
Oh my gosh, the world is coming to an end.
This is a big deal to me. It's the first win of the day. You make your bed. I teach you how to make your bed. I preach about making your bed.
She still hasn't been able to teach me how to make my bed, but let's keep going. I do.
You
That's
do
not
make
true,
your
but
bed.
not every single day.
But anyways, that is the start. And I found myself not even being able to do that. And I just thought, God, what a fraud I am. I tell people to do this. I tell people to things don't happen to me. They happen for me. And I believe that.
Hey, wait a second. So are you telling me that if a physical fitness instructor were to put on some weight, they should stop that career? They should stop doing that?
No, but we're not talking about them. We're talking about me.
I know, but we're talking, it's the same, it's an analogy. It's the same thing, different industry.
Shannon, you're 100% right. And I tell people all the time, give yourself some grace.
Right.
But here's the reality of it. When you're deep in it, and it's like there's this little hit, and there's this little disappointment, and there's this little thing, and there's this heartbreak, and there's this argument with your spouse over something silly and stupid, and there's, yesterday my daughter brought her dog over, and her dog killed one of our chickens.
No!
Yeah, my favorite
one?
chicken.
Daisy?
Lady Gray.
Oh, okay. Oh, Daisy's my granddaughter. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, so, that happened, and I felt so bad because I should have heard the chickens, and I didn't, and it was just another thing. And, I tell you guys all the time, give yourself some grace.
Right.
But the reality is, when you're in it, it's not always easy to do. And here's the kicker, is that when you recognize when you're in a depression.
Yes.
You recognize when you're not doing the things, when you're not drinking the water, when you're choosing to eat once a meal.
Well, and you even said that to me, because when we were talking, I was like, Rach, give yourself some grace. And you said, but I know better. But it doesn't change the fact, you guys, I don't care how much we share with you. I don't care how many golden nuggets we give you. It doesn't mean you're not going to have a bad day. Just like being a Christian, right? Just like being a Christian. When you're a Christian, it doesn't mean you no longer face adversity. It doesn't mean that. It just means that you can go through it with peace, knowing. And it's okay to have a bad day, Rachel.
Well,
it's okay to have a bad week.
That's what yes, because so what I did is part of my struggle was in feeling like such a fake, such a fraud. And so I went on live this morning.
And it was beautiful. And I went to applaud all of our listeners and all of our friends on Facebook, because I love the response you got.
Oh my gosh, talk about blow me away. And, it was really good, because I needed some of that back. I needed somebody to fill up my cup. I needed people to remind me to give grace. I needed to be reminded that it's okay to need to reset and to not feel like you have all the answers. And I am making a difference. Even when I fail and I mess up on day 47, again. People were sending me unbelievable messages, because you started doing this, I did this. Because you started with Save the Children, I put the hotline in my phone. Because,
Right.
and it was so nice to hear that. And I'm going to be honest, guys, I'm not out of my funk. I'm not.
No.
I need to take some time and just reset. And Shannon's right. It is okay. It's just really hard when you feel like you know too much to have to do that.
Now, I know what you're saying, and I have a question for you. Take yourself out of the equation and look at all of the posts that people that follow you made, right?
Unbelievable.
Isn't it wonderful when the grasshopper becomes the teacher? I mean, that's what it was like. A proud moment watching some of the people that we've been there when they're in that situation.
Yeah.
Be able to turn around and bless you with the same gift.
Yeah.
I think it was beautiful. And you know what? Honestly, I think sometimes we do fall into a depression when we stop counting on Christ. Stop counting on God. And we think we can do it all.
I have to admit, he has been the source that I've been turning to a lot as I've been going through this, and it's part of the reason why I hurt is I know he has to hurt. Those are his babies. Those are his children. And I'm ashamed it took me so long to wake up. And that's part of this depression too. And I know it's great that I'm awake. I know it is.
Wait a second.
But
Hold
that's
on.
real for me.
Back up. I know it's real for you, but I don't want you see, this is where you're focusing on the negative. Because if you were focusing on this a month ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to make such an amazing impact, the impact that you have thus far. You have touched so many lives. You have changed so many people's lives. Even with your organization company alone. So I think that's unfair for you to, again, I love you, but I think you're trying to play God. You aren't that fantastic. Nobody is, right?
Not even close.
So the first thing I recommend, guys, while we're taking this quick little break and we got Rachel to smile, the first thing I recommend doing is exactly what Rachel did, and that's reach out to someone. Reach out to someone you trust. This is a sign of strength. A lot of people think that, well, if I go see a counselor, or if I talk to a friend, or if I show my weakness, I'm weak. BS. You aren't weak. That takes strength. Being weak is sitting in your house and pretending everything's okay and contemplating suicide. I'm going to be honest here. That's a moment of weakness, and we don't want anyone being weak like that.
However, I do have to say, if you are in that mindset,
reach out.
Please reach out.
Yes.
Because it's also for somebody who is there, because I have been there at
real.
Points in my life. It's very real. And we do not want to minimize that in the least, because we know you are fighting the hardest war you will ever face. We want you to reach out so that we can help you win. If it's me, Shannon, a counselor, a friend, please know you're not being judged. You are loved. You are worthy. And reach out to someone, because you deserve better.
And there's the second way you can reach out to someone, like Rachel just did. She stopped thinking about everything that's going on with her right now because she had concern for someone else that is in a worse place than her, and she reached out. So when I say reach out to someone, I don't mean you have to reach out to someone who's going to heal you or fix you or fill you with the things that you should do, because that's really just going to tick you off when you talk to me, right? So, I mean, reach out to someone, anyone. Go to a movie, go to a pastor, there are numerous things that you can do, but reach out to someone, a teacher, someone.
Anyone.
Because half of the battle with depression is feeling like we're alone.
And it's really interesting because as I've gone through depression, and just so our listeners know, guys, I have suffered with depression for a long time, very long time. I had a very traumatic childhood, a lot of things that I wasn't that strong. And at the time I was a victim of, I had no choice because I was a child. And so depression has been something that I have fought and learned to deal with and learned to recognize the signs. And I am very proud of myself in the fact that I can recognize it. And I pull my bootstraps up and I say, oh, okay, now it honestly takes me a little longer than I wish it did. And usually I have Shannon beating down my door to make me pull my bootstraps up. And God, let me tell you guys, you need a Shannon Styles in your life. You can't have that one. That one's mine. But you need that ride or die. You need that person who loves you just as much when you're ugly, just as much as when you're depressed, just as much as when you were doing fantastic. You need that cheerleader in your life. So please find them because they are worth more than gold. But anyways, depression has been very real for me. And part of that is very hard because when I recognize that I'm depressed, I don't always want to be out of it. I kind of want to sit in the corner and suck my thumb and eat my bonbons and be depressed for a while. And I still wonder why I do that when I recognize it.
There's something comfortable to it because that is the story that you've lived for so long. It's like going to visit an old friend, right? And maybe that old friend wasn't a great friend. Maybe they didn't treat you well. Maybe they weren't, but you know each other.
It's comfortable.
It's comfortable in an uncomfortable kind of way.
In an uncomfortable, yeah.
It is. And that's okay. It's okay, you guys. It's all right to have these feelings. It's okay. It's okay to admit that, sometimes it's easier just to be
weak.
Well, just to give up for a little while. And it's okay to have your moment, but it's not okay to stay there. And at that, we're going to take a break. You're listening to Jump, Pivot, and Roll. We'll be back in just a moment, and you don't want to go anywhere because, like I said earlier, you might not need it now, but you will need it someday.
The Jump, Pivot, and Roll podcast is brought to you in part by the Shannon Styles Allstate Insurance Agency. Just as you take that next step in life, you need to take that next step in protecting yourself, your car, your home, and your family. Reach out to Shannon at 316-773-9864 or shoot her an email at sstyles@allstate.com. Also by Simplify My Life ICT. Is your life cluttered? Do you need help with organization? Rachel Murphy can help. Check out Rachel's services online at simplifymylifeict.com or reach out to Rachel at simplifymylifeict@gmail.com. To keep up with the Jump, Pivot, and Roll podcast, make sure to follow them on their Facebook page. Just go to facebook.com/Jump, Pivot, and Roll. There you can find content, podcasts of the show, discussions with Rachel and Shannon, and more. Plus, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite podcasting sites, from iTunes and Spotify, Google Play to TuneIn, and right on their Podbean site at jumppivotandroll.podbean.com. And for all the exclusive content, make sure to become a VIP member on their Patreon site. Just go to patreon.com/Jump, Pivot, and Roll.
And welcome back to Jump, Pivot, and Roll. I'm Shannon Styles.
And I'm Rachel Murphy.
And today we are discussing a very deep, real subject, and that is depression. And depression, man, you can't choose depression. You can't control depression. It's something that just happens sometimes. But what we can do is we can recognize it. And when we recognize the signs, like Rachel has gotten very good at recognizing, we can train ourselves to do certain things to come out of it quicker. And, the definition of happiness, we talk about it a lot. It's not perfection, it's progress.
Right.
So,
right.
You know what? Maybe you were depressed last month and you sat in it for a month, and this month it's only 3 weeks. Well, you're getting better. You're getting better at this, and give yourself some grace. Even if you slip into a big depression and you're there a little longer than you'd like to be, it's okay. Just see the light. And that's another thing I really, really want to kind of put out there is, when you're in a depression and you recognize that you're in it, take the time to write down everything you're grateful for.
That's a good
everything.
One. The gratitude list.
Exactly. Yep. And then grow on that gratitude list. So for everything that you write down that you're grateful for, like maybe I'd put my son, right? Go 7 layers deep on each one. Why am I grateful for my son? Well, first of all, he's an amazing child. Second of all, he makes me proud. He's responsible. I mean, just go that deep on all of those. So many times we put, I'm grateful for my son. And, because we need to, right? I mean, come on, you're going to feel like, talk about feeling guilty and depressed. You're going to feel like a horrible mother if you don't put the child on there. But we don't go deep to see why. Yeah. And that's where we need to get. When you're that deep in depression, we need to go that deep in gratitude. We need to go further in gratitude. If 7 doesn't work for you, go 10. If 10 doesn't work for you, go 20. Go until you get a smile on your face. Yeah. Go until you've blocked out all the negative, and now you start seeing your favor, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the other things, and I'm going to share with you guys, because this is a part of my life, the things that I recognize that I stopped doing and I start doing. And, drink your water. Yes. Drink your water. It is a known fact that if we do not drink water and we let our bodies get dehydrated, our brain gets dehydrated and we will go into depression. And I told Shannon this morning, I said, I'm not drinking my water. And I knew I wasn't drinking my water, but once depression hit, it was like, I want to be in this safe, uncomfortable, really miserable place, because right now it just somehow felt warm and inviting at the same time, absolutely miserable. I don't know how to explain it, guys.
I'm going to take that a step further, though.
Okay.
Eat healthy. And what I mean by that...
I was coming.
Yeah, eat vitamin B.
B?
Yeah, B. B. So leafy greens, your citrusy fruits, your chicken, your eggs. Foods high in vitamin B, because it's been clinically proven that when you have a deficiency in vitamin B, it triggers depression.
Yeah, that's true.
Go ahead.
The next one is go sit outside.
Yes, sunshine.
Sit out in that sunshine.
There's that D.
There's the D. There's the D. Sit out in the sunshine. And it's okay if you sit out in the sunshine and you just cry like I did this morning.
Yeah.
But sitting out in it wasn't super sunny this morning, but still getting myself out there and not only sit out in the sunshine, take off your shoes, take off your socks, and feel the grass underneath your feet. Sit there in the grass and just let nature replenish you, because she will. Mother Nature loves us just like Heavenly Father does. And sometimes, in this busy world of doing all the things and being all the things, that's one of the things we do the least amount. So
yeah. And while you're outside, move your body. Go for a walk, exercise, lift weights, go swimming, dancing, martial arts. I mean, do whatever. Go make love with your spouse.
Unless you're really pissed at him.
Anything that gets your body moving and your blood pumping, because that helps also. Yeah, if you're really mad at him, I suggest you make love to him twice.
Oh my goodness, I'm going to use that on her the next time she's mad at Mr. Stiles.
I hate it when we say something and somebody throws it back in your face.
Yeah,
but Mr. Stiles will really appreciate that.
Oh, he will. He will definitely. I'm even going to send it to him. Hey, guess what your wife said?
Listen to the podcast.
Anyways, Shannon is right. And here's the thing that I had to tell myself this morning is I did not have the energy to do my full exercise routine, but I did some of it, and some of it was okay because at least it was a start. And I drank my water, and I'm going to be honest, normally I love water. I feel like it's a privilege to drink water. We have so much to be grateful for, but I did not want to drink my water, and I made myself drink my water.
But you know better, and you know that these things are going to take you away from that comfortable friend.
Yes.
So
and you're gonna have to put on your big girl panties, and that's not always fun and easy.
So it's really more about being disciplined at times, but it brings us straight to my favorite subject.
Oh goodness, what's that?
Be aware of the voices inside of your head. The ones that are feeding you nothing but the negative, right? The negative information. Ask yourself, what would you tell a friend if they were in this situation? This is the big one. This is the huge one for me. Change your physiology, right? Change your body. Because think about it. When someone's depressed, where are their shoulders?
Well, they're slumped down, usually under a big blanket.
Where's
on a
their
couch, laying back.
How are they talking?
Very slow.
Life sucks. This is horrible.
Yep.
Just by throwing your shoulders back. Didn't I tell you this one day?
You told me this morning. You're like, where are your shoulders?
Put your shoulders back. Put your head up. Talk fast. Talk loud. Tell me, who are you? Who am I talking to, right? And what did you do? You laughed. Look at you. You just lifted up. I want you guys to rewind this a little bit and go back and look at her because her shoulders went back, her head went up. Now she's laughing. But it works, you guys. It works.
It does.
It changes your state of mind.
It does.
It works.
Another one, put on music. Put on music that either moves your soul, moves your feet, or moves your heart. Put on music and make yourself listen to it. Now, if you're sad and you're depressed,
on country music.
Hey, now, stop that.
Unless you play it backwards and you'll get your dog back, your car back.
I'll beat her later, guys. But don't put on stuff that's going to make you more depressed. Put on stuff that moves you. This morning, after I drank my water, after I ate, I made my bed and I started some laundry and I vacuumed my floors and I did my exercise. But
and you hated every minute of it.
No, I didn't. No, it felt good.
At 8:00 you did. You were like, I'm doing it.
Well,
but then you
some
hit a point,
of it was
right?
like, yeah. I mean, and then all of a sudden it felt better. But what really helped me was being able to be real with my friends, with the audience that I feel responsible to try and serve. I think that was the biggest thing when I was able to come out and say, okay, this is the ugly. This is where I am right now. And God, guys, the love, it was just unbelievable. But it also felt so good to be able to be real.
The most moving one I read, and I haven't read them all yet. I mean,
there's 47 the last time I checked.
I only get online every certain hours of the day, but the most moving one I read, and the one that I love the most, was the one that said, "This is why we love you, Rachel. You are so authentic. You share your true self. You're real. And you understand what we're going through, right?"
That would move me a lot.
Yeah. I mean, they were all amazing. Don't take that wrong, because I love the love you gave my girl. But honestly, I love that our listeners love us just the way we are.
I cannot tell you how much of a blessing that is to know that I can be real, that I can show you not only my successes and my good stuff, because there are those. And guys, I don't want you to think I'm not grateful for them, because I am, and I love them, and I work hard for them. But being able to show you when I'm weak and when I'm down, and I'm not being that rah cheerleader, and you still love me and you still accept me. Yeah. It's just the most amazing gift. So thank you.
Yeah. And you know what? She might be hating me right now, but she'll thank me one day. Seriously though, you guys, I'm making very light of this because Rachel is still, she's not out of it yet. No. And that's how I know Rachel gets out of it, is when we get together and we laugh and we have fun and we do things that she enjoys, right?
And you accept me right where I'm at. You don't make me feel shameful. You don't let me stay there. Guys, she never.
You can visit, but you're not staying.
but you don't make me feel ashamed, and you let me go through the process that I need to go through, knowing that I'm strong enough to figure it out, and that I also have you and others to lean on if it's a little bit harder. And
sometimes it's just listening. I mean, not always am I out there saying, well, you do this, do that, do this, do that.
Yes, she is.
Not always. Sometimes I just listen. I mean, there was a point today where you were talking about some personal things that I just had to hear you out.
Yeah, I just needed to be heard.
Yeah, and I just had to let you say it, and then you can tell when you're talking to somebody you love when they're going too far into the rabbit hole. And that's when you pull out the humor, right? That's when you pull them out of their comfort zone. That's when you say, I think you have a boogie there, or you do something, right, to change their state of mind.
Check.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm going to be doing that to myself. You do something. I don't care what it is. If it's someone who's a very religious person who never curses, curse at him.
That'll do it.
Do something.
Yeah.
To change their state of mind.
Yeah.
It's so important that you do that. So when you hear me laughing and joking, and please don't think I don't take this seriously.
She loves me.
This is why I got started on my journey, was because I had someone that I loved dearly that suffered with depression to the point where he tried to take his life. So I take this very seriously. And with that said, I want to make sure that I go back to what Rachel was talking about earlier when she was talking about if you are so far down that rabbit hole and you're thinking about taking your own life, you are weak right now. And it's okay that you're weak, but I want you to write down this number. I want you to call 1-800-273-8255. Again, that's 1-800-273-8255. That is the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. And you know what? We care about you. We want you to comment on this. We want to hear from you. We want to interact with you. We want you to reach out to us in Messenger. Okay? Well, you're not alone. And she was lying when she said she won't share me. You were not alone. Okay?
I'll share you, just
if you can't call that number, reach out to us. But please call that number because, like I just said, we aren't always on Facebook, and I don't want that to be your lifeline. I don't want to take a chance that we miss that little window of opportunity, because I promise you, better days are ahead. This too shall pass.
This too shall pass, and that's one of the things that I know. And so, okay, it's time for the challenge.
Listen, wait a second. I want to throw one more thing out there.
Okay, throw it out.
God knew we would be in this position. God knew no matter how great we are at personal development, no matter how good we are, God knew we would be in this position so much that he put it in the Bible. that he spoke to us directly saying, this too shall pass. So the next time you feel like you should know better, no, you shouldn't. If God is talking directly to us in his words, you shouldn't know better. You may need someone to help pull you out of that, and it's okay.
It's okay.
What is your challenge, my dear?
My challenge is twofold. So, first, it's for the person who's sitting in the seat that I'm sitting in right now. It's a little hot. If you're going through that time, please give yourself some grace. And I want you guys to know I am giving myself some grace. I'm doing the things I know I need to do, but I'm also not forcing myself out of this. And there's a difference between putting on a fake happy smile so that everybody around you is comfortable and being able to recognize when things are getting to where they shouldn't be and slowly making those footsteps to get you back to where you need to be.
And don't think Rachel's here putting on a front, because she's got her hat pulled down low for a reason. But Rachel, I love you. You showed up.
I did.
You showed up.
I did. But I have my second challenge.
Your second challenge.
The first challenge, again, is if you're in that spot, give yourself some grace.
Yes.
But don't allow yourself to be there. Reach out to someone.
Yes.
Anyone that you trust and who will love you. And I'm going to tell you, if you need someone and you need someone who understands, even when I'm in this spot, the biggest way to help pull somebody out is to help someone else. So Rachel Murphy on Facebook, if you need me, you call me, you message me, you IM me, and let's talk. But if it's not me, find somebody.
And if you can't reach Rachel, please call 1-800-273-8255. Listen, they're not going to flag you. They're just going to talk to you.
They're just going to let you be heard.
Sometimes we just need to talk.
We just need to be heard. Okay, second challenge.
Oh, I thought that was the second challenge.
No, that was the first challenge. She's trying to hurry.
The first challenge was grace. The second challenge was reach out to someone.
Well, that was their whole
She's
challenge.
got a third challenge.
You
can have as many challenges as you want, honey. I just want to make sure we keep them straight.
Okay.
3.
The second, this is for a different person. So 1 is if you're in that depressed state.
Okay.
2 is learn to trust your internal voice and soul. And if you get a message that says, I should call so-and-so, I should reach out to so-and-so, I really need to stop by and see so-and-so, please do not ignore that. That is straight from grace and God above, and that person needs you. So please, please, please do not ignore that inner voice. There's a reason you have it.
That was the start of our friendship. Do you remember that?
I do. You sent me flowers, and I had no idea who sent me flowers.
And we didn't know each other very well.
Not at all.
But I got this gut instinct. I had this, Rachel was on my heart, and it was not a warm and fuzzy feeling. It was a little bit dark. And I thought she just needs her day brightened up. So I sent her flowers.
And she would not have known, because I was putting on that fake smile. How are you doing, darling? Hugs, hugs, hugs.
Yep.
All of that, because that was my job. My job was to be that happy-go-lucky girl and to inspire you to send your business to me and my company where I worked. And so I did not let that show.
No, you were very good.
She had no idea from me.
Right.
But she heard, and it's been life-changing.
At the time that you received those, you were going through very, very difficult times.
One of the hardest times of my life.
And So I agree with you. I think you have beautiful challenges this week. I kudos to you. And I really hope that you guys listen and that you listen to that inner voice when it talks good things, not the crap it feeds you.
No, the good things.
Be very aware of what it's saying to you, but pick and choose. But when somebody just comes into your thoughts, that's it.
There's a reason.
There doesn't have to be anything else. If you think of someone, act. Period.
Yep. And whether you believe in God like Shannon and I do, or whether you believe it's karma or the universe,
doesn't matter.
They're there for a reason. So please reach out.
Life doesn't always come with directions. Sometimes you have to jump, pivot, and roll. This one is very dear to my heart because my dear friend is going through pain and suffering right now. And I can't imagine your friends being out there without an outlet, without a way to deal with this. So please, I'm going to ask you flat out, please share this out. Because there's someone out there that needs to hear this message. We don't come on here and just lay our heart on the line. We don't come on here and show you the good, bad, and ugly for no reason. We come on here to make a difference in this world, and we need your help because maybe it's not you, but you might know the person that it is that needs this. So please share it. Give us comments. We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and listening.
Thanks, guys.